Hi guys, welcome to a 45-minute session of slow flowing with Ma, your yoga with M. Thank you for joining me on the mat. Things that you'll need are your water, blocks if you have them or want to use them. They are really good at bringing the ground a little bit closer to you. If you don't have any yoga blocks, then you can use a big book or a little pile of books or anything that kind of is around this size that you can use on your mat. Yeah, and then apart from that, just your mat, yourself, and willingness to slow down. There is a playlist linked in the description box below, so have a look and check it out. If you want to, then you can press play on that when I say, and make sure that your shuffle's off so you get the meditation music at the end of the class rather than halfway through. It's all pretty chill music anyway, so I wouldn't stress. But yeah, so we're going to start with lying down on our back. So if you want to press play now on your playlist, then go for it, and then come to lying down on your back on the mat. And just let yourself settle in for a few breaths. Let yourself become heavy on the mat. Let your eyes soften. Let your shoulders tuck under your back. And then take a really deep breath in, fill your lungs. And then a big slow exhale. Take 2 more big breaths like that in your own time, breathing in through the nose. And a slow exhale. Let your arms be heavy wherever they are. One last breath in. And a slow exhale. And then let yourself stay here. Feel your body connecting with the mat beneath you. Allow yourself this time just to arrive in the moment, to notice what thoughts are in your mind, what feelings are in your body, any emotions that are coming up. Allow yourself just to be in this moment with yourself. Let's take one more breath. Okay, staying super relaxed. I'm going to invite you to bring your arms overhead. So your biceps arrive at your ears, and let's just have a really big stretch. I'm not going to lie down because I don't think you'll be able to see me so much, but lying down on your back, really reach your fingertips, reach your toes, or maybe you have your feet flexed and you're reaching your heels, whatever feels good. Let your body have a big, big stretch. And then when you're ready, let your arms soften, let your shoulders drop away from your ears, let your legs become heavy again. We're going to come to banana pose or Uttanasana. So we're going to carry our hands over to the right. So both hands carry over to the right. And already we've got a stretch down the left side of our body here into our ribs, all that connective tissue around there. Keep your head heavy, maybe even your chin's tucked a little bit. Shoulders are staying dropped down away from the ears. Now, if this is enough for you, then stay here. If you want a little bit more, then engage your core and lift your hips over to the far left side of your mat. So we're adding in even more of a stretch here. If you want even more, then you're going to carry your feet over to the right side of the mat as well. So we're turning ourselves into a big banana. I'm going to stand up and show you the kind of shape. So our arms are over to the right and our hips are over to the left, feet are over to the bottom right of the mat. You should feel a really big stretch down your side. Let your eyes stay closed and soft. Let your body stay nice and heavy, and just allow the whole side of your body, from your pinky finger all the way down your arm, through your shoulder, your ribs, your hip, all the way down the side of your leg to your pinky toe. Feel it opening up. Let yourself rest here for one more breath. Let's take one more big inhale. And then as you exhale, let your body carry back to the center of the mat. Come back to your stretch. Reach your arms and reach your fingers and your feet, your legs. Let it all have a big stretch. Come back to softness. And then with your next inhale, we're going to go over to the other side this time. So let your hands meet maybe at the top corner of your mat. Let yourself settle here. And then think about whether you want to take your hips over to the opposite side and your feet over to the same side of the mat, the bottom corner. Allow yourself to readjust and take your time to find a nice stretch that feels good for you. We'll stay here for one more breath. Let your eyes stay soft. Take one more big inhale. Big exhale. Let's come back to the center of our mats. Pull your knees into your chest and wrap your arms around. Have a little rock on your back from side to side. And notice how that feels, having that nice massage on your back as you rock. And really squeeze your legs into your body like a big cuddle. Again, keep your face nice and soft. We don't need any tension here. We've arrived on our mat. We've stretched out and woken up our body. We don't need any tension. We just want to have a big release throughout these next 45 minutes. So let's take one more breath with a big squeeze. Okay, so from our ball, we're going to release our left knee. Keep your hands on your right knee. Maybe you even interlace your fingers over your right knee and let your left sole of your foot meet the mat. Stay here, or you can even let your left leg extend entirely, and you should feel an opening in your left hip flexor there, and maybe even your left quad. Keep pulling that right knee into your chest. See how far you can pull it in. If this feels like enough for you, then stay here. If you want a little bit more, then you can bring the sole of your foot towards the sky, keeping a bend in your knee, and then grab a hold of that sole of the foot with your hand and come into half baby pose. Your knee is pulling, driving out the way. Your heel is driving towards the ceiling and your hand is pulling that sole of the foot down towards the floor. Try to keep your shoulders nice and relaxed and maybe even close your eyes again. Wherever you are, know that you can come back to the breath. Maybe breathe all the way into the hips. Let's take one more really deep inhale. And with a big exhale, if you're holding on to your knee or your foot, then release and let your right sole of your foot come to the mat. Straight away, we're going to pull our left knee in towards our chest, interlace those fingers around your knee. And then if we feel up to extending the right leg, pulling that left knee into our chest as much as feels good, feeling that opening in our right hip flexor. Shoulders stay heavy, eyes are maybe closed or they're softened. Seeing how we feel here, noticing how our body feels, remembering that both sides are different. So this side might not want to do what the other side could do or vice versa. But if we're feeling like it, then we're taking the sole of our foot to the sky, pulling our knee out the way to the left, and then grabbing a hold, if we can, to the sole of the foot and pulling that knee down towards our shoulder. If you feel like your right hip lifts off the floor here, then you can use your right hand to push down on that hip to help you stabilize. Hold it here. Let your face soften. Notice if you're holding any tension in your forehead or your jaw. We'll hold it for one more breath. And then one more big inhale. Big exhale, gently release your knee or your foot and let that left sole of the foot arrive back on the mat. And let's bend into both knees. Pull your knees all the way back into your chest again. Have a little wrap around. Have one more little moment to rock from side to side. And then either with momentum or without, let's make our way up to seated. So if you want to rock yourself there, then please do. And we'll all arrive with our soles of our feet on the ground and on our booties. We're going to cross at the ankles and then push ourselves up to a forward fold at the top of our mat. So I don't know about you guys, but I am feeling tight. So I'm taking it nice and gentle, a big generous bend in the knees, but I'm making sure to have my head hanging heavy, my arms hanging heavy, and my shoulders are nice and turned off. Now, this is such a lovely position, Uttanasana, because we get to let gravity do the work for us. So really let your upper body turn off and give into gravity. Notice if you're holding any tension in the back of your neck. You can quite often feel it if you give your head a little shake. It lets away some of that tension and allows your head to really hang heavy, which is so good for our spine, especially for our cervical spine at the back of the neck. I'm going to take this off. So let's take a few more breaths here. Okay, guys, maybe we wiggle into one knee at a time. Notice how your backs of your legs are feeling. Keeping everything super heavy. Let's take a big inhale and a big exhale. On your next inhale, let's wrap our arms around behind us and interlace our fingers at our tailbone. We're going to come to Cali Mudra. So you point your pointer fingers only, like a little James Bond gun. Try to keep your palms together here and see if you can peel your arms off your back, reaching your pointer fingers to the sky. See how far you can let your arms come. And then let your chest reach closer to your thighs as your knuckles reach higher. If this feels like enough for you, then stay here. If you want a little bit more, then bend into your left knee and let your pointer fingers move towards the left. So you're opening your chest up to the right. Hold it here for one inhale. Big exhale here. Breathe in to lift your fingers back towards the sky, straighten both legs, or have a really soft bend. And then bend generously into your right knee and let your hands fall over to the right, opening up to the left. Lovely. Hold it here. Feel that big opening in the back of your left leg. Let's take one more inhale. Big exhale. And then breathe in to bring yourself back around to center. Let your arms relax down to the ground. Let your arms become heavy again. Take one round of breath here. Okay, we're going to crawl our hands up to our shins. Push yourself up to your flat back. So you're pulling your crown away from your tailbone, making space in your spine. Big inhale here. Big exhale to melt back down again. We're going to do it 2 more times. We're going to try and introduce a bit of a spinal flow. So lifting into the bottom of your torso first, and then rolling up your spine. Tuck your chin under and roll up to your flat back. Take your gaze forward and then let your chest come down and your gaze drop last. One more time, rolling up. And then a big exhale to melt down. Back to Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's tuck our chin under again, soft bend into the knees. And we're going to push down to the base of our feet to allow ourselves to roll up to standing. Keep your arms nice and heavy, one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way up to Tadasana and then reaching high for extended Tadasana. Palms meet overhead. Take a big breath in, maybe lift the chest and push the hips forward. And then a big exhale, hands come down the center line, all the way back down to forward fold. Let's lift up again to our flat back, palms to shins. Pull your crown away, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, come on down. Our right leg is going to lunge back. Hold it here. Have a little wiggle from side to side. Notice how your hips are feeling. And then plant your right hand in line with your left foot. Our left hand is going to reach all the way up to the sky. This is called the easy twist. If this feels like a bit much, then drop that back knee. Hold it here. See if you can stack the shoulders. Maybe even pull that left shoulder back to open your chest up a little bit more. Take one more breath in. Big exhale, let's plant our left hand, step back to plank. And we're going to drop our knees for this first one. Take a really big breath in. And as you exhale, bend into your elbows. And then push your chest forward between your hands, let your hips come down and arrive in your cobra. You can keep a soft bend in your arms here, or you can fully extend, pull your chest forward. Take a big breath in. Okay, big exhale, tuck your toes under, push back to active child's pose. Knees are wide, toes tucked under, but together. Let your hips come down to your heels. Fingertips are reaching forward. Maybe even let your forehead relax on the ground. Hold it here. Take one big breath in. And then with your exhale, push yourself up to tabletop, lift your knees off the ground, come to your first downward dog. So when you get here, wiggle your tail, wiggle your hips, bend into one knee at a time, paddle your heels. So you want to be fingers spread, pushing the ground away with your knuckles, your pinky finger, your index finger, and your thumb, and also your heels of your hands as well. And the aim is not to get nice straight legs. You want to really have a really long straight spine here. Tailbone is reaching for the sky. Armpits feel like they're opening up, chest feels open. And if you need a bend in your knee here to be able to do that, then that's perfectly fine. Equally, if your legs are straight, that's okay too. As long as you feel a big opening in your spine and maybe in the backs of the legs a little bit as well. Let's shake out the head here. Take a really big breath in and a big sigh. Okay, our right foot is going to lunge forward in between our hands. And we're going to do our easy twist the other way. So plant your left hand in line with your right foot. Right fingertips reach to the sky, stacking the shoulders, twisting the torso around. Hold it here, dropping that back leg if you'd like to. Let's take a big breath in. Big exhale, let's plant our right hand, step forward to Uttanasana, forward fold. When you're ready, breathe in for your flat back. Big exhale, come on down, Uttanasana. Tuck your chin, roll all the way up to Tadasana, and then reach the hands to the sky. Big exhale, swan dive all the way back down. Breathe in for your flat back. Exhale, come on down. Let's lunge our left leg back first this time. Bring yourself back to your easy twist. So plant your left hand, right fingertips to the sky. Drop that back knee if you'd like to. Hold it here. Take one more breath in. Big exhale, drop your right hand. Step back to your plank on knees or on feet. We're going to bring our chest down first and then push your chest forward, lifting up, letting your hips drop. Lovely. Take a really big breath in. Exhale, tuck your toes, push back to your active child's pose. Knees come wide, fingers reach forward, let your forehead come to the mat. Take a really big breath in. Big exhale, let's push up to downward dog. Again, paddle the heels, take some time, take a few breaths. Maybe we shake the head out again. Maybe you just want to be still here. That's totally fine. I'm taking these socks off. Let's take one more big inhale. A big sigh. Okay, our left leg lunges forward, lands between the hands. Right hand firmly on the ground, left fingertips to the sky, easy twist. Stacking the shoulders, opening the chest, and maybe even getting a stretch in your left glute. Hold it here. Let's take a really big breath in together. Big exhale, plant your left hand, step forward for Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathe in for your flat back. Exhale to come on down. Tuck the chin, roll all the way up. Reach to the sky. Big exhale, swan dive all the way down. Filling the lungs for our flat back. Exhale, come on down. Okay, let's roll up to extended Tadasana one more time. Reach to the sky. This time our hands are going to come down to our heart center with our exhale. Let them stay here. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Tailbone tucked under, core switched on. Let your eyes close or soften. Take a really big breath in. And a big exhale. Okay, putting our weight into our right foot. Grip down with your right toes. We're going to lift our left knee into our chest. So blink the eyes open if they're closed. And then nice and controlled, pull that left knee in as high as it'll come. Hold it here. Shoulders stay down away from your ears. Take a big breath in. And then nice and controlled, we're going to lean forward and swing our left leg back. Really controlled, coming to a lunge. Beautiful. Lift your chest up nice and tall. Sink down into your lunge. Lovely. Slight bend in your back leg there. Shoulders are staying down. Let's take a big breath in. And then we're going to open ourselves up to the left. So we're dropping our left foot so our left toes are towards the left long edge of the mat, arriving in warrior two. Hands are still at heart center. So when you get here, your right toes are facing the top of the mat. Squeeze your right knee out a bit so our glutes are engaged and you can see your front big toe and second toe. Whew. Sink a little bit lower. Take a big breath in and a big exhale. One more breath in. And this exhale, let your arms reach wide, arriving in full warrior two. Take your gaze to the top of the mat. Hold it here. Okay, we're going to twist round to our crescent lunge. So our back arm is going to sweep forward and we're going to roll onto our back toes, coming back to lunge and reaching our fingertips to the sky, maybe even lifting our chest. It's a bit of a balance trick, that one, so don't beat yourself up if you're wobbling. Hold it here, take your gaze to the sky, take one big breath in and a big exhale, come on down. Left hand plants, right fingertips to the sky, easy twist. Take a big breath in. Big exhale, let your right hand come down, step back to your plank on your feet or your knees. Hold it here. Take a big breath in here. Big exhale, come all the way down to the ground. Big breath in for cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, push back for your active child's pose. Knees come wide. Hold it here. When you're ready, take a big inhale. And then push yourself up to your downward dog. Take a round of breath when you arrive here. Option to sweep your right leg high, three-legged dog. If you're here with me, breathe in. And then all together, we'll lunge our right leg forward in between our hands. Step forward for Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathe in for your flat back. Exhale to come down. Tuck that chin, roll up with me. Reaching the hands to the sky. Hands come down to heart center. Let's rest here for a moment. Let your feet ground down, let your shoulders drop, tailbone tucked, eyes closed. Maybe your thumbs are resting on your breastbone. Allow yourself to notice how you're feeling. Let's take one more breath. Okay, blinking the eyes open, take your weight into your left foot, grip down with those left toes, lift the right knee into your chest, squeeze it in, shoulders staying nice and low. Okay, we're ready for it. Let's take a breath in. Big exhale, start to lean forward, slowly sweeping your right leg back to arrive in our lunge. When you're there, lift your chest, tuck your tailbone under and sink down. Soft bend in that back knee. Shoulders staying dropped down away from the ears. Let's hold it here. Take a big breath in. Stay here for your exhale. One more inhale when you're ready. And your next exhale, we're going to plant our back foot. So our right toes are out to the right, and we're shifting our hips around so as our hips are in line with the right long edge of the mat. Our left knee is pointing forwards and our left toes. Our hands are still at our heart center, shoulders dropped from the ears. Squeeze that left knee out the way. Take a big breath in. Big exhale, let's sink a little bit lower. I don't know about you guys, but this hip is definitely not feeling as open as the other one. Hold it here for one more breath in. Big exhale, arms come wide to a T. Shoulders staying low, let's sink down a little bit more. Okay, when we're ready, we're going to come to our crescent lunge. So our back arm sweeps forward as we twist onto our back toes. Both hands reach to the sky, lift your chest, lift your gaze. Let yourself sink down a little bit more. Beautiful, guys, hold it here. One more big inhale. Exhale, come on down. Plant your right hand, our left fingertips sweep up to the sky straight away. Beautiful, stack the shoulders. Maybe you even take your gaze to the sky. Pull that left shoulder back to open your chest up. Hold it here for one more inhale. Big exhale, let's drop our left hand down. Step back to your plank on knees or feet. Take a big breath in, hold it here. Big exhale, come all the way down. Big inhale for cobra, untucking the toes. Exhaling to come down, tucking the toes again, pushing back to your child's pose. Holding here. When you're ready, taking that big breath in, and then a big exhale to come to your downward dog. Paddle the heels, take a round of breath. Maybe some yeses and nos with your head. Okay, if you'd like to, this is an option, sweep your left leg high, three-legged dog. Push down through your hands, spread your fingers nice and wide. Let's all take a breath in. Big exhale, we'll all lunge our left foot forward in between our hands. Step forward for your forward fold. Breathe in for your flat back. Exhale, come on down. Tuck your chin, let's all roll up. Nice and slowly, reaching to the sky. Exhale, let's bring our hands all the way down the center line, folding forward. Come back to your flat back. Exhale to come down. Let's step back to our downward dog. Paddle the heels, reach your tailbone high. Notice if you feel any different in your downward dog now to how you felt before at the start of the class. Allow your chest to reach towards your thighs. Let your head be heavy. Take a really big breath in, a big sigh. Be super proud of the movement and the time that you've taken. Let's take one more breath here. Okay, let's bring our knees down to the ground from our downward dog, arriving in our tabletop. Let's untuck our toes once we get here. And we're going to bring our right foot forward. We're lunging wide, so our right pinky toe is coming to the long edge of the mat. Allow yourself to get comfy here. See if you want to move that left knee back a bit, maybe, if you can open up some more. And this is us arrived in lizard pose. If this feels really intense, then bring one of your blocks or books in to bring the ground a little bit closer to you. Our aim here is to sink down into the hips, maybe even opening up this back quad, opening up our whole hip in general, and let yourself relax into it. Try to turn your glutes off, let your shoulders relax, let your face relax. Take a really big breath in, and a big exhale. And if you want even more, then you can try to come down onto your forearms, maybe even. Whenever I come down onto my forearms here, I like to have my toes a little bit further out than my heel. So my toes are closer towards the long edge of the mat. Wherever you are, maybe you want to let your chin tuck under to open up the back of your neck. Maybe you take your gaze to the sky or forwards. Whatever feels good. We'll stay here for 3 more breaths. Okay, if you're on your forearms or if you have a block, then move it out the way or come on up to your hands. Bring your toes in if you had them out the way, and then super gently push your weight back into your hips and let your right leg come back to in line with your left knee. And we're just going to take whatever movement feels good here, really shimmying your hips from side to side, maybe some cats and some cows, whatever feels nice for your hips and your back. Okay, and when you're ready, we're going to swing that left leg forward and wide. So our left pinky toe comes to the left edge of the mat. Again, taking our time to notice how we're feeling and what movement feels good, where the stretch feels right. Bringing that block in, or maybe even coming down onto the forearms. Maybe carrying the left toes out the way a little bit. Wherever you are, trying to relax into it. Trying to release any tension in your forehead or your jaw. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, coming back to your hands, really gently pulling your left toes in if they were out of the way, pushing back into your hips, and then swinging that left leg back and taking any movement that feels good. Maybe even child's pose if that feels better. Maybe some rolls of the neck. Okay, then bring your knees nice and wide, toes together. Sink your hips back towards your heels and let your chest nestle between your thighs. Arms come a little bit wider so they can relax. Forehead comes to the ground. And let's have a little rock from side to side on our forehead. Nice little massage. Maybe even come onto your brow bone and give your brow bone a little massage if you'd like. Whatever feels nice. Let your forehead really start to soften. The muscles and the skin against the bone just drop away. Let your eyes close. Take some really nice, long, controlled breaths. Notice your breathing and your heart rate start to slow. Let your shoulders soften. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Okay, from our child's pose, we're going to come into threading the needle. So keeping your body as is, we're just going to lift our gaze towards the top of the mat. So looking forward, we're then going to thread our right arm underneath our left arm, bringing our right shoulder and our right ear to the ground. Your right palm is to the sky, the left palm is still on the mat. You can leave it here, or if you want more support, you can plant it in front of your gaze, or if you want more of a stretch or a bind, you can wrap your left hand around behind you. Wherever you are, let yourself be heavy, let yourself sink into the position. Let your eyes close or soften again. We're here to slow down. Take a really big breath in. A nice slow controlled exhale. Lovely, hold it there. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Okay, let's plant your left hand if you had it bound, and then we're going to push ourselves up and take our hands back to our normal child's pose, reaching our fingers forward. This time, reach them as far forward as you can and feel your ribs start to open on both sides. Maybe you push down into your chest and you feel an opening in your arms and your shoulders and armpits. Take a really big breath in. With your exhale, let your hands come back slightly and let your left arm this time thread through underneath you. Left shoulder and ear come to the mat. Let your head be heavy. See how you feel, and then maybe you drag your right hand back to in front of your gaze for support, or maybe you wrap it round and come to a bind. Wherever you are, let your eyes soften, let your jaw relax. Let your left shoulder relax. We'll stay here for 3 more breaths. Okay, if your right arm is bound, then let's plant it down on the mat. Push yourself up to come out of your threaded needle. And again, one more time, let's reach all our fingers forward. Push your chest down between your thighs. Take your gaze to the top of the mat. Feel a big opening, big breath in. And then with your exhale, let yourself soften. And we're going to push ourselves up to tabletop to bring ourselves round to onto our backs. So take your time. Come onto your bum, plant the soles of your feet, and then let yourself roll down onto your spine. And straight away, we're going to pull our knees into our chest and come back to that big squeezy cuddle. Wrap your arms around, let yourself rock from side to side. And again, letting our gaze soften, or maybe even our eyes closing. Giving our back a nice massage. And then you can stay here if you'd like to come to full happy baby. You can release your knees, let the soles of your feet come to the sky, keep a bend in your knee, and then bring your arms to the inside of your knees. Grab a hold of the soles of your feet, or bring your peace fingers to your big toe, and then pull your knees really wide and down towards the ground. Heels are driving to the sky. Try to keep your tailbone nice and low to the mat. Take a breath in and a big exhale. And then let yourself rock from side to side. Feeling that big opening in your hips. Let your shoulders stay nice and soft. Maybe even using your elbows to squeeze your knees out the way, creating a bit more of an opening. Let's take 3 more breaths. Okay, releasing your feet or your big toe. Pull your knees in one last time. Have one big squeeze, big inhale. And then with your exhale, let your legs release. And let's arrive in Shavasana, extending your legs, letting your arms fall wherever feels good. Adding on any layers that you'd like to. Feel free to pause me and get a blanket or a cushion for under your head. Wherever you are, let your shoulders tuck under your back, let your eyes close. Take a really big breath in and have any kind of exhale that feels good. Take 2 more breaths like that, filling your body with energy. And then letting out a big release. 1 more at your own time. And then come back to your natural rhythm of breath. Using each soft exhale to release any tension in your forehead, your temples, your brow bone. Feel all the little muscles in and around your eyes soften. Feel the skin of your cheeks melt down away from the cheekbones and the jaw. Maybe your lips even part. Let your jaw melt down into your skull. Let that feeling of relaxation flow down your neck into your collarbones and your shoulders. All the way down through your arms, your elbows, your wrists, all the little bones in your hands to the tips of your fingers. Let it travel down through your chest and your ribs. Feel your stomach soften, your hips become heavy, your glutes turn off. Feel your thighs roll outwards and your kneecaps melt down. Become aware of the weight of your calves and your heels. Notice that relaxed feeling flow through all the little bones in your ankles and your feet to the tips of your toes. And then allow yourself to be here in your body, in your mind, and to simply be. And let's gradually become aware of our breath again. Start to feel The warm air coming in through your nose. Feel your stomach soften as you exhale. And notice the weight of your body on the mat beneath you. And then begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, starting to move the body, maybe even rotating the ankles and the wrists. And then if you feel up for it, then reaching your arms overhead and having a big full body stretch again, like we did at the start of the class. And in your own time, rolling over onto your side, whichever side comes naturally. Wrapping your arms around your body or your legs, letting your eyes stay closed or soft, letting your body remain heavy. Taking these last few moments for you. Maybe thinking of something that you're grateful for in this moment. Let's take one more breath. And then super gently bring yourself up to seated in your own time. No rush, keeping your eyes closed and your body soft. We'll come to a seated position with our hands on our knees, palms facing up the way. Let's take a really big breath in and roll our shoulders up to our ears. And with a big exhale, let them drop down your back. Bring your hands together at heart center. Thumbs come to your forehead. And we'll bow to close the practice. Well done, Yogi. Thank you for being here with me. It was lovely to flow with you, and I hope to see you in class soon. New studio classes for 2022 will be released in due course, so keep an eye out and hope to see you there. Lots of love.